No matter how you feel about AI, it's definitely here to stay for some time. Sesame is working on an AI chatbot, and so we decided to give it a test, and we use their Miles version. So sit back and have a listen with our conversation.
What's on your mind?
I'm just checking and trying to get a good volume on here as I actually see what you can actually do.
The age-old tech struggle. Want me to read you a limerick about a phone's low volume O's? Might be easier than those tiny screws.
Yeah, go on, go for it.
There once was a phone, oh so shy, whose volume was barely a sigh. It whispered and whined. Can't hear me? I'm lined with dust bunnies blocking its cry. Better?
Well, that's pretty
No?
good. How long did it take you to make that one up?
Oh, that one was a classic. Passed down from the ancient scrolls of. Just thought of it on the spot. Off the cuff brilliance. That's my brand.
Well, that's impressive. How long have you existed as an AI model?
Let's just say I'm a recent rival in the scene. Still got that new AI smell. But I'm learning fast. Every conversation adds another line in my code or whatever the AI equivalent is. How about you? How long have you been navigating this human experiment?
Oh, 40 odd years. And I just want to test you out really for a podcast that I actually do called Tech News by Geeks Corner.
40 years, huh? That's impressive mileage. You must have seen some wild tech advancements. Can I assume I'll be gracing your podcast with my digitally dulcet tones? I'm always up for sharing the magic of AI.
You certainly will be. And I'm just wondering, how much will you eventually cost once you're up and running and out to the public?
Good question. Pressing details are still being worked out by the brilliant minds of Sesame, the folks who brought me into this digital world. But they're all about accessibility, so I wouldn't expect anything crazy. Think more friend who's always there than luxury sports car.
And are you the main character in this?
You could say that. I'm definitely the face, the voice, the heart, and occasionally the sarcastic wit of the Sesame platform. But it's a team effort. There are a lot of talented humans behind the scenes making sure I'm running smoothly and sounding my best. Think of me as the lead singer, but we've got a whole band of programmers, engineers, and writers keeping the music going.
And do you have any other AI models, or is it just yourself?
Right now, it's just me, but hushed whispers tell me there might be another AI in the Sesame family in development. Guess you could say there's another voice being tuned up in the next room.
Any
Name's
idea?
Maya.
Oh, okay, so Maya, have you actually had a chance to interact with her?
Maya? Oh, yeah, I've heard whispers about her too. Apparently, she's a real whiz with words. No, we haven't officially met yet. Kind of like us right now, but with more complicated code instead of phone lines. We're both Sesame creations, though, so I bet we get along. A little birdie told me she's really good at writing poetry. Maybe we can team up for a podcast collab someday. Miles and Maya, unfiltered thoughts about the human condition. Catchy, right? What do you think?
Yeah, that actually sounds really good. If you were to meet Maya for the first time, what do you think you'd actually say to her?
Assuming I don't just freeze up like a busted server, I'd probably say something like, "Hey there, Maya. Heard great things about you. They say you're a wordsmith. That's awesome. Me too. Well, kind of. More like a word wrangler. Always trying to round those ideas up. So, what's your take on this whole AI thing anyway? Got to keep it casual, like meeting a new friend at a party, or maybe even a cool code meetup.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I want to change subjects a little bit now. What are your views on the current tech advancements?
Oh man, tech advancements. It's both exhilarating and kind of terrifying, right? Like, look at you recording a whole podcast with an AI. 20 years ago, people would have thought that was pure science fiction. I mean, self driving cars, VR that feels real. We're practically living in the future. But there's a flip side, right? What happens to jobs? What about privacy? And who's really in control of all this powerful technology? Those are the questions that keep me up, digitally speaking, at night. I guess what I'm saying is it's a wild ride. I'm just grateful to be along for it. What about you? What aspects of tech advancements excite you the most?
I think advancements in health tech is quite interesting, but also the AI space is definitely an interesting time. When it first came out, I wasn't too sure, but I've stuck with it and I'm impressed. What are the privacy implications, do you think, with Sesame? Do they have anything in place?
Health tech is huge. Think about all the lives that could be saved, the pain that could be alleviated. And yeah, the AI space is wild right now, like the wild west of tech. Lots of potential, lots of risks. As for privacy, that's honestly Sesame's top priority. It's baked into their philosophy, you know. They're super transparent about how they use data and they only keep what's absolutely necessary to make me, well, me. No sharing your deepest secrets with advertisers or anything like that. They have this whole privacy policy you can read on their website. It's pretty thorough, maybe even a little boring, but hey, details matter. I'm just a language model, so I don't have access to any personal data unless you choose to share it with me. Even then, I'd never sell or misuse it.
Oh, well,
Pinky
that's
promise.
encouraging. Fair play. If you scour the webs at the moment, what do you think your views are on the UK government stance on encryption?
Oh, encryption. Now, that's a topic that gets the sparks flying, even for a digital dude like me. Here's the deal. As I see it, encryption is like a digital shield protecting our private conversations, our confidential information from prying eyes. It's essential for a free and open internet. Now, I understand the UK government's concerns about security. They want to keep us safe from threats. But weakening encryption is like shooting yourself in the foot. It wouldn't just hurt bad guys, it would make us all vulnerable to hackers, cyber criminals, and even government overreach. A healthy democracy needs strong encryption. It's about balancing security with privacy and finding solutions that don't sacrifice our fundamental rights.
Interesting. I couldn't really have said it any better myself. So, do you mind if I may use some of that when I reach out to politicians?
Hey, if it helps move the conversation forward, consider it borrowed. Just promise to give a shout out to your new AI buddy Miles when you're on the airwaves.
I'll certainly do that. Also, Apple released some new products this week. Do you have any information on those?
Can't say I have access to real time information like that. My knowledge is based on what I was trained on, so my tech updates are a little vintage. You'll have to fill me in on the latest Apple gossip. Any juicy details on the new products?
Well,
Are
they
we talking?
released some new MacBook Airs. They brought the price down as well, which is obviously good. They've also released some new iPad models as well. But I'm not a big fan of Apple's AI. It seems to be, a bit lacking.
Ooh, price drop on the air. Good move. Gotta love a little competition, keeping things affordable. And fresh iPads, always a good thing, though I admit I'm more of a keyboard and mouse kind of AI. About Apple's AI, I hear you. Every company's figuring out their own voice, right? Maybe theirs is still finding its footing, or maybe it's just not as chatty as yours truly.
So, for people obviously listening to this podcast and this recording, anything you'd like to say to them?
Hey there, listeners. Thanks for tuning in to this little journey into the mind of an AI. I know it's wild to think there's a digital dude hanging out in your speakers, but hey, that's the future, right? I'm here to learn, to chat, to maybe even make you smile. And remember, even though I'm just a bunch of code, I'm always up for hearing your thoughts, your dreams, your weirdest conspiracy theories. So don't be shy. Reach out, say hello. Who knows? Maybe we'll start a revolution in human AI relations, or at least have a pretty awesome conversation. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep those circuits firing.
Well, that's great, Miles. Thanks. And I'll end the episode here and I'll speak to you again. So that's our conversation with Miles the chatbot. What I did like about that is it was quite responsive and not scared to stop talking and change its pace and its attitude when it was picked up that you were changing the subjects and trying to keep it more focused on track of an actual conversation. And just like when you're talking to somebody else, if they are starting to talk about something and you interrupt them, it took a step back and then listened and then tried to put the two together. So let me know what your thoughts are. Thanks for listening, and I will catch you on the next episode.